Welcome to Your Time to Thrive with personal fitness coach Jason Stevenson.
Hi, friends. Happy Wednesday, and welcome to the Your Time to Thrive podcast. My name is Jason. I'm your host, and we're here right before the holidays, continuing our running series, How You're Not Going to Survive the Holidays. You know how I do this, folks. My job is to help you get further. We're going to continue this series. We're going to finish it today. We're going to finish up the whole point of not just making it through life, because that's really the motto of my business. And it's the method by which I try to follow as far as not just getting through things. You want to achieve greatness, or at least get better than barely made it through, right? So today, as always, I'm accompanied by my amazing friend and wonderful producer, Benjamin Barber. We're going to bring him on camera a little bit. There we go. Somebody's thematic now.
How are you?
I'm all right, man. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
See, now that's a reason for me to get different headphones. I could wear different hats.
Yeah.
Although I actually feel like I wear a lot of hats as it is. Just not on camera.
You should get different microphones. You could try this little microphone.
Ooh. Like a mini mic?
Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
Anyway.
Does it work?
Going?
Is it functional?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No, it completely works.
That's pretty awesome. Does it have a special use, or is it like a USB? We can use this as a mic.
It's for your phone. So it plugs into like a little
okay.
headphone jack for your phone. You plug it in and then you can talk on your phone. It has like a little mic stand and stuff that it comes with. It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
But it's amazing.
Yes.
Where'd you get it?
Amazon.
Okay. I'm really proud, actually. I've bought very little on Amazon this year.
Nice.
Like, I did a lot of local shopping. That's the only thing I have left to do, is to get some stocking stuffers for Kirst, do a little bit more shopping. We did some local shopping last weekend, but that was together, so I couldn't really tell her to leave the store. Just go stand outside for a minute.
Yeah.
It's always hard shopping for people when they're right next to you.
It is. It definitely is. So what are we talking about today?
We're talking about all things related to health and fitness and anything else that we come up with. But really what we're talking about is finishing this series that we've been talking about for weeks now. So folks, you know me. My job is to help you get further and help you try to make better choices, right? We talk about all kinds of different things on this podcast. And for the last few weeks, the topic has been, you're not going to survive the holidays. And I'm really trying to get people to think differently about how they approach the holiday season, and especially given the fitness industry, how everybody comes out of the holiday season ready to rip and get back into fitness. Now, unfortunately, it's a hard road if you have loaded yourself with extra calories and a lack of movement over the last few weeks, because now you're starting from behind where you were, or you're starting from a loaded position, essentially. My suggestion has been to focus on what you can get done. Focus on some cardio, some movement, even if it's just a couple of minutes of yoga a couple days a week, or a couple minutes of walking a couple days a week. To think about your food. Everybody always tells me that they eat too much over the holidays because there's all these holiday parties. Well, if you do the math, even if you go out to a holiday party every weekend night through the holiday season, the majority of your meals are actually still normal meals. So there's no reason that you can't think about what you're going to eat and be prepared. One of my suggestions was to think about having some snacks or a small light meal before you go out to a holiday party. That way you don't show up hungry. Or to plan. One of my favorite ways to enjoy an evening out with my wife, or to enjoy one of these holiday parties, is to eat accordingly during the day of the party. So if I know tonight say tonight, which we're going to go out for a date night because the holiday weekend, we're going to be with family and friends. Most of my meals today will be really, really clean. I've fasted so far today. I'll have a nice, healthy lunch. Probably going to make a big fat salad with some tuna on it, actually. And then have lots of fruit this afternoon so that I know that going into the evening, I'll be prepared with less calories on my plate so far for the day. That way, when I eat a little bit more than I would normally for dinner, my calories for the day balance out. Because remember, that's our goal, is to achieve a level of homeostasis or balance within your exercise and your intake. So that's the food thoughts. We also talked about hydration. We know most people imbibe a little bit more over the holidays. So just super hydrate, drink lots of water. That's a really easy fix when we're around the holidays and we don't feel like we're in control of our food or our exercise, to at least stay hydrated. Just get lots of sleep, whether it's as often as you would like or as much as you would like, to try and get deep, restful sleep. Get the electronics out of the room, set alarms, make sure you get up for those alarms, but to focus on your rest and your downtime. Even if it's 5 minutes sitting in your car before you walk in the house at the end of the day, just a couple of deep breaths with your eyes closed, just to reset, let go of all the chaos. It's so important around this time of year to stay focused on ourselves just a little bit. Remember, one of my favorite sayings is it's not selfish to be selfless. What that means is basically you need to take care of yourself first and foremost, and then you can help take care of other people. And it's okay to do that. And then the last one, of course, as we're thinking about ourselves, is to think about other people. At this time of year, if you have people to buy gifts for, if you have people to celebrate with, if you have a roof over your head and food to eat over the holidays, you're lucky. So celebrate that. Help other people enjoy a good holiday season. Either give of your time, give of your money, give gifts, find ways that you can give back in your community. And I promise you, your holidays will be better for it. So that's the wrap up of what we talked about so far these last couple of weeks. And the next step is how you're going to plan forward. Because the first episode we did with this, we talked about having a plan so that you can make it through the holidays without feeling like an absolute loss of the time for your self-care. Now, the next step is to plan appropriately for the next few weeks. Going into the New Year's, going into the new year, I have a question for everybody as far as the resolutions is concerned, because we did a podcast about this last year where we were talking about making resolutions. And my push has always been that you shouldn't try and make a resolution for New Year's for your fitness. My suggestion is that you make a New Year's resolution for the year, that you think about long term, that you don't just think, now I'm going to get it. Because the truth is, it's not going to happen in the first 30 days. Most of it's not even going to happen in the first 60 days. Your habit focus, your consistency, and the pieces of the puzzle that you start to implement over the next few weeks are what's most important, because we're looking for repeatable, maintainable. So the most important piece is to start thinking about what you definitely can do. Instead of starting January 1st and saying, I'm going to the gym 5 days a week, you're not going at all right now, or you're going less than that because you wouldn't be setting that as a goal. So I like setting big goals, but my suggestion is to look at what's realistic as well. Set the 5-day, but let 3 days a week be your goal. Because what happens is at the end of the month, most people quit. Most people turn around and say, I made my New Year's resolution. I'll try better next year. And that's not necessarily because they can't do it. It's not necessarily because they set their sights so high, but they just weren't realistic about it. You have to set realistic goals and realistic expectations for the time frame. Let me just think about it. We just spent 6 weeks preparing for this holiday season. It's going to take more than 6 weeks to take off the eggnog and cookies. So, Ben, do you remember the podcast we talked about last year with the resolutions? If I bring you back on here real quick.
Yes, I do.
So what was your takeaway from all of that? Because I know you gave me some pushback when I said resolutions suck.
I don't think that resolutions suck. I think that making an arbitrary day of the line, like January 1st being your resolution day, sucks. But if that's the thing that's gonna actually like push you forward, go ahead and do it, you know. But there's no reason why you can't have a resolution for like December 21st, December 22nd, whatever day it is right now. Like, there's no reason you can't do that. But if January 1st just makes more sense to you, like, cool, just own it. But I think that the idea of a resolution, the idea of taking stock at a certain point in the year or whatever is a good thing. As long as you do it, you know. So it doesn't matter what day it is. But if it's gonna help you, then a day is a day.
It is an interesting arbitrary discussion, isn't it? Like that January 1st is what we always start with just because the calendar restarts.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like December 22nd can't be the day, right? If I just did it every year on December 22nd, it's still the same calendar.
And if you make some decisions on January 1st and then like you don't like the way that it's going, then hey, March 17th is a great day as well. You know, I don't know why I picked that one, but make it your St. Patrick's Day resolution. You know, make it your July 4th resolution. Make it your like I remember thinking like I said this last year during this too. Like I decided through June and the beginning of July, like, all right, I'm going to try to eat plant-based and I'm going to go for it August 1st. And then it was July 19th and I was eating a chicken sandwich and I was like, why am I doing this? I know that in 11 days I want to not do this anymore. What the hell is the point of me doing it right now? And then I looked at the sandwich differently and I was like, all right, no, like now. Like just do it now. You know what I mean? And if there are certain things that like you have to do differently because of certain reasons for like an extended period of time or whatever, like sure, those are all great, but like when you want to start something, start when you have the momentum and the idea and the like start when you're there, because motivation doesn't last. So like while you have it, strike while the iron's hot, and then maybe you can build in some habits into your you can rewire your neurotransmitters into making it a sustainable thing. But like strike while the iron's hot.
I agree wholeheartedly. Maybe that's why when people say, "Oh, I'm going to get started in January," my like hackles go up. Because I've literally had multiple people tell me like, "Oh, I'm going to call you in January," or "We're going to get in touch in January," or "I'll start in January." And I'm like, why? Why wait? Like what is the postponement doing for you?
Comment from Meg. For me personally, I believe that oftentimes New Year's resolutions come from a negative place, a place of looking at things we have not done in the past year and negative self-talk. Instead, I look at things I have done well and the things I want to continue to do throughout the year.
Oh, I love that perspective. Meg, we got to have you back on again soon. That's a great point, folks. And I agree wholeheartedly with that. That retrospect, that like perspective of what happened this last year. Ben, you just touched on that. Like instead of thinking like, oh, I'm going to do this new, like let's look back. How did the year go? Were there things that worked really well that I tried to implement? What am I going to do to make sure that they stay habits? And then check and balance what didn't work.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
I find this time of year such an interesting psychological thing because there are literally people that shut down emotionally, like during the holidays. They just bah humbug it, and I don't want to be part of all this chaos. There's people that get deep into it. They're sending out cards. They light their entire house up with lights. They're giving cookies out to everybody. I read this thing yesterday, and I've heard of it before. I don't know if it's specific to Iceland, but I know it's Nordic based, that there's a tradition that they give a book to each other the night before Christmas, like Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Eve, the family spends the evening sitting around a fire, eating fun stuff, but mostly reading together quietly. Isn't that an awesome idea?
Yeah, that's great.
I just love the idea of the focus on the peace and the quiet and the family time as opposed to like gift giving or like reveling and partying and rock starring all night long. I just love the idea of it. It just seems like a peaceful way of spending the night, like light Christmas music playing, like a fire,
Yeah.
and you get to give something that's meaningful to somebody. You know, I love giving books. I love getting books actually. I
What are
read
you
a
doing
ton.
for Christmas this year?
We swap every year Thanksgiving and Christmas between Kirsten's family and my family so that no mother in laws or no family members get upset that we're not spending specific holidays with each other, and so that it's pretty easy for both of us. So this year we were with my side of the family for Thanksgiving, and this year we're doing her side of the family for Christmas, which is good. It's fun. They have a big Italian family, and we're going to be with one set of the side of the family for Christmas Eve. They host Christmas Eve, and that's kind of a little bit of everything. A couple of kids, a couple of adults pop bys. Santa usually stops by. And then
Nice.
Christmas Day will be with her parents, and later in the afternoon, we do family dinner with one of the other cousins.
Nice.
So, yeah, we'll do some family stuff. It'll be small compared to years before, a little bigger than last year, though, right?
Yeah. Um, I so for anybody watching or listening to this, because this will come out on the 23rd on the podcast. Um, if you are anxious about Christmas and keeping everybody safe, I just want to pass this on because because of my anxieties and everything, like I follow a lot of immunologists and epidemiologists and stuff.
Yes.
Um, and if so the best way to keep everybody safe this Christmas is rapid tests, and specifically like a rapid test if you're worried about this, and you have family like traveling and whatever it may be, take a rapid test literally right before you leave your house, or at the door, because if you the theory behind this isn't medical advice from me, obviously I'm nobody, but the theory behind this that was said was like a rapid test, you can get a rapid test and test negative and you may still have COVID,
Right.
but uh, if you get a rapid test and the rapid test is negative, it would stay negative for at least 8 to 12 hours, which means that while you may have been exposed or you may have it and the virus is like replicating in your body, uh, you do not at that moment have a viral load enough where it's detecting it, which means that it's less infectious or not infectious.
Nice.
So you should be good for about 8 to 12 hours at least. So if you take a rapid test and it's negative right before you leave for somewhere, you should be good.
Nice.
Yeah.
It
That's
really is the time of year where we have to start being safe about all this stuff again.
Omicron's scary. It's so much more transmissible, and there's nothing that suggests that it's actually more, less severe than Delta.
Yeah.
So just everybody be careful and take care, and in the meantime, like eating healthy and working on your physical fitness and
Oh, for sure.
doing all of that stuff in addition to uh, following guidelines and masking and hand washing and social distancing and getting vaccinated and all of that. Like, follow that stuff, and then also take care of yourself in every other
Yeah.
way. Like, because I think that who knows what January and February are going to look like at this point with the rapid increase. Like, this thing went from 13% to 73% of
Yeah.
American cases in a week.
Yeah.
So a bunch of people are talking about having March 2020 vibes right now. Um, and so another thing that you and I have talked about on this podcast in the last year and a half is like, think about what you did during quarantine,
Right?
and how you like you handled that mental health wise. If you
Ugh.
wanted to be more physically active, if you wanted to like, and
Learn a
just
language.
yeah, and just start thinking about like what 2022 is going to look like for you, because I doubt that we'll have the same lockdowns that we did before, because of many reasons.
Yeah.
But if if things look a little bit differently than they have for the last 9 months in the next 4 months, then you should probably make a plan about like what your fitness is going to look like, and what your mental health is going to look like, and that
Yeah.
stuff is that stuff's important. We just bought a treadmill, and
Nice.
Allie and Dave just put the treadmill together yesterday or Monday, which is nice because the roads are starting to freeze, and you know, so that's a wonderful it's a wonderful thing. Like, but it's kind of the same thing as like the holiday season in general, right? Like, don't just it's the whole name of your fucking business actually. Like don't just try to survive. Like, figure out how to thrive during whatever comes next.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And the truth is, there are not major adjustments that are necessary to still live rather normally, right? Like, I just stopped by the pet store, drugstore, grocery store. Um, Masks in our area, wear a mask. It's not that hard. I pull it out of my pocket, I put it on, I walk around the store, I come back out, I take it off. When you greet people, you're not hugging them. I know it sucks to not be doing physical greetings to people and family members, but there's nothing wrong with just saying Merry Christmas. I'm going to try and be safe this year. Don't share cups, don't share food. You know, if you're eating off of a buffet with other friends and family, then just bring your own fork and use that. There's simple steps you can take to not be running as much of a risk, right? Like, we all want to mitigate our risks. It's interesting, actually. I thought about it the other day. I was standing talking to a client, and for years, I've learned as a trainer not to stand directly in front of somebody. One, because they're exhaling, and you never know what somebody's breath smells like. Two, because they're exhaling, and some people exhale hard when they're working out, and then stuff comes out of their mouth. And if I'm staring down the barrel, I'm getting that right in the face. So I always cheat just a little bit to the right of somebody or a little bit to the left so that I'm still in their front focus, so they don't have to turn their body, but I can still be oriented towards them, but not be directly in their face. And now they're not breathing directly at me, and I thought about it the other day that now that we're all back into gyms and people are all working out, some things that I've done over the years are still better applied at this time, right? So you can still talk to people, but remember, it's transmission during a time period at a proximate distance, right? So you can just take a step or two back. I've found myself doing that since all of this started because we were keeping that 6 foot distance. Now, 90% of the time that I train with people, I'm cheated and I'm back a couple of feet just because it's what I've been doing for the last year. But it doesn't change the dynamic of the interaction. It doesn't change the dynamic of the relationship. I know it sucks to not hug people because, trust me, I'm a hugger. Ask Ben. I love hugging people. And I love giving affection and love like that because it's something that you could just give that's not a romantic love. It's just a big hug. And everybody feels better with a big hug. But I haven't hugged people. I have not been hugging people. And that sucks, but that's okay, right? That's just one little thing. That's not going to make my life worse. So when we talk about some of these steps that we take, you're absolutely right, Ben. Start thinking about this because coming through the winter time, we're going to continue to need to make adjustments. What are you going to do to exercise at home? How are you going to plan your meals if you're not picking up prepared food all the time from the restaurants? Or if you're not going out to eat as much? You're going to start cooking more. Remember how you felt last year if you made good choices with your food. If you didn't, then what are you going to do different this year? If you made good choices with your fitness and you reached out to a professional like me and got me to do online Zooms with you or online coaching, or you got programs written, or you did some YouTube searches and found some amazing videos and workout options, then awesome. More power to you. If you didn't, why the fuck not? Do it this year, right? Like, get out there and find something that's going to help you feel better than you did last year.
Yep.
I mean, we joked about it a couple times last year. What would you do if you had 30 days, right? Like, what could you achieve in 30 days, right? You could be speaking a language. You could get a certification online. You could tour every major museum in the world right now.
Yep.
So if we have to spend a little bit more time inside or a little bit more time not with other people, you can take advantage of that and be something better at the end of this, not just make it through.
You could
Start a podcast.
You can start a podcast. You can watch other people's podcasts.
I know a company, 321 Media. They will help you with all of your podcast needs.
Thank you. You can you can get really into a weird internet community and end up wearing a Pizza John hat from Pizza Miss instead of Christmas. This is the weirdest. This is a picture of
I
a
love it.
guy with a just like this creepy photo of him with a mustache, John Green. And it's
I love it.
Pizza Miss. Yeah.
For Pizza Miss.
Which is in October,
I love it.
by the way, but whatever, I just got the hat.
It's thematic. It's cool. You can get away with red, white, and green all day long, buddy.
I know. Well, he's the green.
Oh.
Because his last name's Green. That's a joke. That was a joke. The color's not.
Dad jokes coming out of Ben today, man.
Hey. That's what
I love it.
That's what
I love
I'm
it.
for.
Listen, folks, we're going to keep it short. Double mic'd here.
Okay.
Have you seen the new Ghostbusters yet?
No.
Oh, you're going to love that reference when you see it.
No. Do you watch the Matrix movies?
Of course.
Are you gonna watch the new one that just came out today?
Of course. Can't wait.
I'll watch it after Christmas. I got some Christmas movies to watch first.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've gone through a lot, actually, because we've been baking cookies. Kirsten made a ton of cookies this year. So we just throw something on and then bake cookies. We got through a big list this year, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
What's your favorite one that you watched?
Well, so we talked about this the other day about the Christmas movies. I have a couple favorites because some I like to go and laugh about, and some I like because they're sentimental. Scrooged, probably we're going to stay at the top of the list there for like all over, little sentimental, little funny. It's a Wonderful Life if you're going to go far back, and probably Elf is my favorite if it's like comedy, because that's a little heartwarming too.
Love
We
it.
always watch Four Christmases though. Have you ever seen that?
No, I don't think I've ever. No,
Oh.
I saw it. I saw it like in theaters actually.
Oh, wow. That's just a riot because everybody can understand what it's like to go celebrate Christmas with somebody else's family, whether it's a friend who you went to somebody else's house for a party or it's an in-law. Going to somebody else's house and their traditions and how they do things and what they eat, like the timing of it and everything, that just they put that under a microscope, basically. Just fun.
Well, dude, if I don't talk to you, Merry Christmas.
And to you too, my friend. You too.
I hope it's a good one, and enjoy.
We're going to make it a good one, right?
Yes.
Whatever it is, we're going to make it a good holiday. Folks, we're going to wrap this up for the year here. Thank you so much for being a part of the podcast, whether you're live or recorded. We really appreciate you being here. If you ever have any questions related to your health and fitness or anything we've talked about on the podcast or anything you'd like us to talk about on the podcast, just reach out. The website is thrivetrainingteam.com. All the social media links and all the access points to find me are available there. Whatever you do out there, folks, remember, you have a choice. You have control over your choices. That's all you have control over. You know what you've done in the past. You know what works for you. And you also know what you have not done. So make some choices this year. Make some great choices. Make the choices that are going to make your future self proud. Wishing you all, from the bottom of my heart, an amazing holiday season, however you celebrate, wherever you are. Thank you, friends. Have a great and amazing day. We'll talk to you soon.
For more information, tips, and workouts of the day, check out thrivetrainingteam.com.